When you're doing a movie, you don't know what you got. You kind of in general know what you got, but you don't know exactly how this is going to go together and what's going to come out.
For more than 30 years, Tombstone has remained one of the most loved Western movies ever made. Fans continue to watch it because of its exciting action, memorable characters, and powerful performances. Among the biggest reasons for its lasting success are Kurt Russell and Val Kilmer, whose portrayals of Wyatt Earp and Doc Holliday became legendary. Their on-screen friendship felt so natural that many people wondered if the two actors shared the same bond in real life. Over the years, countless stories appeared about what happened behind the scenes during the making of the film. Some claimed the production was filled with problems, while others spoke about disagreements and creative struggles. These stories only made fans more curious. As time passed, people wanted to know what really happened and how Kurt Russell felt about working with Val Kilmer. Now, decades after the movie first arrived in theaters, Kurt Russell has finally shared his thoughts, giving fans a better understanding of the friendship they built while creating one of Hollywood's greatest westerns. His words reveal not only his respect for Kilmer's incredible talent but also the special connection they developed during one of the most challenging productions of their careers. Although many rumors have circulated for years, the real story is much warmer and more meaningful than many people expected. It is a story about trust, teamwork, and mutual admiration between two actors who gave everything they had to bring unforgettable characters to life. Before exploring Kurt Russell's touching memories of Val Kilmer, it is important to understand why Tombstone became such an important film in the first place. The journey to make the movie was far from easy. Behind the cameras, the production faced unexpected setbacks, changes in leadership, and many difficult moments that could have ended the project before it was ever completed. Yet despite all those problems, everyone involved remained determined to create a movie that honored the history of the American West. Their hard work eventually turned Tombstone into a timeless classic that still attracts new audiences today and continues to be celebrated as one of the finest Western films ever made. When filming for Tombstone began in 1993, no one knew that the movie would one day become one of the greatest Westerns in Hollywood history. At first, it looked like a normal film production with a talented cast and an exciting story. However, behind the scenes, the project quickly ran into serious problems. The original writer, Kevin Jarre, was also chosen to direct the film. Although he had written a strong screenplay, directing such a large production proved to be much more difficult than expected. The filming schedule started falling behind, important scenes were not being completed on time, and the studio became increasingly worried about the future of the movie. After only a few weeks of filming, the producers made the difficult decision to replace Jarre as director. Veteran filmmaker George P. Cosmatos was brought in to take control and keep the project moving. While this decision helped save the movie, it also created years of discussion among fans and cast members. Different people remembered those events in different ways, leading to many rumors about what really happened during production. Even with all these challenges, the cast remained fully committed to making the best movie possible. Kurt Russell stepped forward as a leader, helping keep the production focused while supporting both the cast and crew during a stressful time. At the same time, Val Kilmer dedicated himself completely to becoming Doc Holliday. He spent hours studying the famous gunslinger, practicing his southern accent, improving his fast draw, and learning every small detail that could make his performance feel real. Other actors worked just as hard, wearing authentic costumes, learning to ride horses and handling old-fashioned firearms until every movement looked natural. The filmmakers also paid close attention to historical accuracy, carefully recreating the streets, buildings, and atmosphere of the Arizona town where the real events took place. Although the audience never saw the difficulties happening behind the cameras, those challenges brought the cast even closer together. Their determination and teamwork allowed them to overcome every obstacle, turning what could have been a troubled production into a movie that would be remembered and admired for generations. One of the biggest reasons Tombstone still stands out today is the incredible dedication shown by every member of its cast. While many Western films rely mostly on action and dramatic gunfights, this movie became something much more because the actors worked hard to make every character feel believable. Kurt Russell knew that Wyatt Earp was one of the most famous lawmen in American history, and he wanted to portray him with confidence, strength, and honesty. Before filming began, Russell spent weeks training with professional firearms experts so he could use the old-style revolvers just as real lawmen did in the 1880s. He practiced drawing his weapon, reloading quickly, riding horses, and moving naturally while wearing heavy clothing from the period. Val Kilmer was just as committed to his role. He carefully studied the life of Doc Holliday, learning about his personality, his education, his illness, and even the way he spoke. Kilmer practiced a gentle Southern accent and developed the calm, witty style that made Doc Holliday such an unforgettable character. His famous one-liners and quiet confidence were not created by chance. They came from hours of careful preparation and a deep understanding of the real man behind the legend. The rest of the cast followed the same approach. Sam Elliott, Bill Paxton, Powers Booth, Michael Biehn, and the other actors attended special training sessions where they learned how people lived during the Old West. They practiced horseback riding, stagecoach driving, gun handling, and other everyday skills that people needed in the late 19th century. Meanwhile, the production team worked tirelessly to recreate the town of Tombstone with remarkable accuracy. Large sets were built using old photographs and historical records, while costume designers made clothing that closely matched what people actually wore during that time. Even the smallest details, from weathered signs to dusty streets and worn-out buildings, helped create a world that felt completely real. Because everyone shared the same goal of authenticity, the finished film looked and felt different from many other westerns, giving audiences an unforgettable experience that continues to impress viewers more than 3 decades after its original release. As the filming continued, the hard work of the cast slowly began to appear on screen. One performance that immediately stood out was Val Kilmer's unforgettable portrayal of Doc Holliday. Although Doc was a skilled gunfighter, Kilmer did not play him as a simple action hero. Instead, he showed a man who was intelligent, humorous, confident, and quietly fighting a deadly illness. His calm voice, clever jokes, and fearless attitude made every scene more powerful. Even today, many movie fans believe Kilmer delivered one of the greatest performances in the history of Western films. His famous lines are still quoted by audiences around the world, proving just how deeply his character connected with viewers. Kurt Russell also gave a performance filled with strength and determination. Rather than making Wyatt Earp seem larger than life, Russell portrayed him as a real person carrying the heavy responsibility of protecting his family while facing dangerous enemies. The chemistry between Russell and Kilmer became the heart of the movie. Their conversations felt natural, their loyalty toward one another was believable, and their friendship gave emotional weight to every major scene. Off the screen, that chemistry came from the respect the two actors developed while working together. They admired each other's professionalism and understood that every great scene depended on trust between them. Around them, the supporting cast also delivered memorable performances. Sam Elliott brought wisdom and quiet leadership as Virgil Earp, while Bill Paxton added warmth and kindness as Morgan Earp. Powers Booth created a terrifying Curly Bill, and Michael Biehn made Johnny Ringo one of the most dangerous villains ever seen in a Western. Every actor understood the importance of their role, no matter how large or small it was. This teamwork helped create a film where every character felt important to the story. Instead of relying only on action scenes, Tombstone balanced humor, emotion, friendship, and tragedy, allowing audiences to become deeply connected with the people on screen. That balance is one of the biggest reasons why the film continues to attract new generations of viewers who discover it for the first time and quickly understand why it has earned such a legendary reputation in Hollywood history. When Tombstone was finally released on Christmas Day in 1993, it entered theaters during a very competitive holiday season. At first, no one could be certain how audiences would react. Western movies were no longer as popular as they had been in earlier decades, and many people believed the genre had already reached its best years. However, Tombstone quickly proved those doubts wrong. Moviegoers were impressed by its exciting action, emotional story, and unforgettable characters. Positive word of mouth spread rapidly, encouraging more people to buy tickets and experience the film for themselves. Before long, the movie became a box office success, earning more than $70 million worldwide. Critics praised many parts of the film, but one performance received special attention above all the others. Val Kilmer's portrayal of Doc Holliday was celebrated as one of the finest acting performances of his career. Many reviewers believed he completely disappeared into the role, creating a character who was both charming and heartbreaking. His ability to mix humor with sadness made Doc Holliday feel like a real person instead of just another movie hero. Kurt Russell's performance also received strong praise for giving Wyatt Earp a quiet strength that balanced Kilmer's energetic personality perfectly. As the years passed, the reputation of Tombstone continued to grow. It became much more than a successful movie. It developed into a true cult classic that fans watched again and again. Television broadcasts, home video releases, DVDs, Blu-rays, and later streaming services introduced the film to entirely new generations. Many younger viewers who were not even born when the movie first premiered eventually discovered it and became devoted fans. Quotes from the film entered popular culture, while scenes between Wyatt Earp and Doc Holliday became some of the most shared moments among movie lovers. Film critics also began ranking Tombstone among the greatest westerns ever made, often placing it beside legendary classics from earlier generations. More than 30 years after its release, the movie continues to attract new audiences because its themes of loyalty, courage, friendship, sacrifice, and justice remain meaningful. Instead of growing old, Tombstone has become one of those rare films that seems to gain even greater respect as time passes, proving that truly great storytelling never goes out of style. As Tombstone became more popular over the years, people also became increasingly interested in what had happened behind the scenes. Stories from the production began appearing in interviews, documentaries, and magazine articles, and many of those stories focused on the unusual challenges the cast and crew had faced while making the film. Some reports claimed there had been disagreements over creative decisions, while others suggested that different people had taken on leadership roles to keep the production moving. Because so many versions of the story existed, fans often found it difficult to separate fact from rumor. Through all of these discussions, one thing remained clear. Nearly everyone who worked on the movie agreed that the cast gave everything they had to make the film a success. Long hours, difficult weather, and constant pressure never stopped the actors from delivering outstanding performances. Among them, Kurt Russell earned a reputation as someone who cared deeply about the quality of the movie and worked tirelessly to keep the production focused during uncertain times. At the same time, Val Kilmer impressed everyone around him with his complete dedication to playing Doc Holliday. He remained deeply involved in every scene, always looking for ways to make his character more believable and emotionally powerful. Fellow actors often spoke about his creativity and willingness to experiment with different ideas while still respecting the script and the director's vision. This combination of discipline and imagination helped create many of the memorable moments that audiences continue to enjoy today. The production team also refused to settle for anything less than authenticity. Designers carefully recreated the streets of the Old West, while costume experts used historical research to make every outfit look accurate for the time period. Makeup artists added weather